Hello and welcome back everybody. Today I want to start a video of a new series. Today I want to start a video on a new series about writing a Python script to tackle one of the most common questions that I've gotten. What are your first steps to do once you land on a machine? And I've been thinking about this for a while about how to approach it, and I'm just really into Python scripting and automation, and so I thought that would be a good way to go through and explain the different things you can do to give you some options, but also let's build a tool out of it, so that way those of you who want to get more into coding have something you sink your teeth into as well. So two birds with one stone. So with that, real quick, I'm going to show you the 3 commands that we're going to work into the code today. The first one is we're going to simply test what capabilities we have as a current user using the sudo command. Personal PC here, if I just type in sudo-l and hit enter, asks me for my password, and it comes back and it says that I have access to run everything as sudo. The next command we're going to work with is the pwd, or the present working directory, and that tells us what directory on the drive we are in. Command simple, pwd. As you can see right now, I'm in home/Gandorf. Something I thought about going ahead and adding was if the /home is in pwd, scan the home directory for all folders to see if there's other users or anything else in there. And with that, we're using the command ls-al/home. We hit enter. As you can see, there's only one folder in there, and that's for the user Gandorf, and it is mine, and I'm the only one that has write access to it. Alright, so let's take a look at the code and see what we've got set up here. Now if you look down the description, I do have a link to a GitHub repo where I've pushed this to. So feel free to grab this as it is right now, play around with it, see what you can add to it if you want to, and submit a branch. Let me look over it. If I think it's good, if I think the formatting's good, we'll get things set up and I'll merge it. If you want to be part of the project that way, I would appreciate any help, any ideas, suggestions, and if you have some input, leave a suggestion down in the comments. I'll look at every comment that comes through, and I'll appreciate any feedback or suggestions. So the main file we'll be running is sysscan.py, and what I've done in here is just made a little comment about the file. We're importing modules.hub, which this is how you can import your own Python scripts. I got in a module folder here, and it's the hub.py file under there. We'll get to that in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and import OS because we're going to use it to get the current user's login, and then we'll print out asking if you have the password for the current user. If you do, please enter it. Take that input, save it. We will pass it to the hub file, and we want to run what's called the full scan, and I'll show you all this in just a minute, and then whatever the results are, it'll print them out. So now let's take a look at that hub Python file. Okay, here we are. Now I've got 2 tests set up at the moment, the sudo test and the pwd test, what I showed you in the terminal. And all this is doing is underneath full run here, we're going to run all the tests and eventually maybe some scans too, and combine them into results and send that back to the main file. So the first thing we're running here is the sudo test. So we take a look at it. We're going to import popen and pipe from the sub process, so that way we can run commands. And in here, we've got this L test, and we simply run a popen command, sudo -s-l, standard in pipe, standard out pipe, standard error pipe, text to true, so we can actually get the text back. Now, in the terminal I showed you, it was sudo-l. The reason we have a -s here is because we wanted to take the input from input pipe, the standard in. If you didn't have this s here, it would actually print out each attempt to the screen wanting a password. Say if you didn't know the password, it would ask you 3 times what the password is. That would just print out, wait for you to hit enter. We can skip all that by simply doing it this way. Then we're wanting to see if that return code on this popen command is a 0. That means it executed without any errors, without any issues. If we do, we have some nice little formatting here. Prints out sudo tests with some underscores, command ran, and here is the output. There you go. If this return code comes back as anything other than a 0, most commonly a 1 or a 2, we'll have the same formatting at the beginning. We'll say error when running sudo, and then print out the error. Now if you notice, we have this try statement, so we have an exception catch down here. So if this popen fails completely, then we're going to say there is a problem running the sudo test and print out that error. So we've got some error handling built into this, so it can be passed along to the user to know if there's any issues. So that's it for sudo. The next test is the pwd test, so let's take a look at that file. And in here you see I'm importing home scan. That's going to check the home folder if we find it, and popen and pipe again. And the setup of this is the same as the other. Here we have our command we're running. We're getting results back. If return code is 0, we do another test. If /home is in test out, the result from the command, then we want to to grab the scan results by running that home script. And then we'll print out PWD test, scan completed, here's the output. We'll give the test out and the scan results together and return those. If home is not in the test out, then we'll do the same thing, PWD test, scan completed, and just return the test out. So it just returns a command to PWD. So this first one returns both the result of PWD and the home scan, whereas the second one just returns the results of PWD. Again, since it's an if statement, it comes back as anything other than 0. We get this error statement here like before. And again, this is all in a try statement, so we have a full exception catch right here, and we'll print that error out if there is one. Now real quick, the home scan file we have here, and you see again, we're just using that popen pipe everywhere. Just keep things simple. We're running the command ls-al/home, just like we did in terminal, and then we'll get the result code 0. Cool, it completed. We'll send the results. If scan code's anything other than 0, we send the error back, and if the whole try statement fails, we'll send that back. So you see I'm using a very simple setup for run the command, test the return code, and then if there's full exception, do that. And this is kind of the standard formatting I would like to adhere to with all of the modules for any test or scan that's done. Keeping it in a similar format so it's easy for people just kind of copy paste and go and add in their own stuff. And if you're wondering why I've got everything in separate files, is because I like the idea of building something like this as modular, because right now in this hub file we just run everything. But say if we get on a machine and there's only like a particular test you want to run, right? Like I could have functions in here for pseudo tests and password tests where that's all it runs is one of those. And say if we want to throw this on so you can do just a scan for what ports are listening instead of doing everything, you can do it that way. So to add some flexibility and options into this is why I broke it up into modules, and we can just import and use what we need. And just as a side note, if you see this change repo, this is just a script I have set up that I can run to change the origin of this Git repo to either my Git server that I host locally here. That's the one I'll be working on when I'm adding features. And then when I'm ready to publish it to you to use publicly, I have this option here. I can switch it to GitHub and it'll be uploaded there. And just to show you, like here's my Git T. You can see modules, the README, and the actual scan file itself. If you open this up, you can see all the different Python files there. And the README file just gives some basic information, shows what's currently implemented. And these are the things that I've thought of to implement in the future. By all means, if there's other things you can think of, leave them down in the comments below. I would really appreciate it. And I want to read this. Important. Do not be a script kiddie. Yes, use this tool if you want to, or you are still having a hard time at first. But do not use without learning. Oh, misspelling there, I need to fix that. Learn what the code is doing, what it is testing for, what it is scanning for. So that way you can run the commands on your own and understand. And here we are at the GitHub. And as you can see right now, this 1 minute ago, I went ahead and corrected that typo down here. This is what you'll be able to access publicly. You can copy this down, play around with it, make a branch, add your own ideas, see what you can come up with, and submit it, and I'll review it. And if I like it, we'll talk about it and see if we can get it implemented for everybody else. So I want to thank you for watching this video. Give me your thoughts down below. What do you think of this idea? Is this might be an interesting way for you to learn the things to do once you gain a first foothold on a machine, while also maybe learning a bit more about scripting and how to automate and everything like that? Do you like this kind of idea? Let me know down below. I'd appreciate any and all feedback. And I want to thank you all again for checking this video out and for visiting this channel. If you would, please subscribe and like the video. It does help out tremendously. I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you next time.